Welcome back, everybody, to Advantage in Paradise. That's right, we do a recap next. Maybe it's because Shane and I didn't do the Power Hour this week, but I am just like so thrown off and disoriented.
We didn't play Friday either.
That's right. That's what it is. It's been so much
Our calendar is off. Our schedule is off.
Yes. So yeah.
This is a cool overlay.
It is a temporary overlay because it's easier for me to manage than what I had before, for now at least. And it's better for my internet. Oh, that's right. I restarted my computer, and that's why I'm confused. Because the recap's not up in front of me. Folks, we're catching up. Don't worry.
Yep. This is what happens when we don't play D&D.
No, this is what happens when Stefan's in Peru.
Getting a tattoo.
What an asshole. Hope you're watching, Stefan.
Yeah. You're definitely not relaxing on your vacation.
I can't miss the lore. I can't miss what's going on in the story. I'm gonna watch.
All right, let's jump into that recap, folks. Last we met on the 7th afternoon of Villid Gloam, the Wild Shadow, on Atolvestak. The Wayward Five had just defeated the amalgamated Hag Coven to free Gideon from their corruption. The elderly Elysian druid struggled to find the energy to answer their questions. And he asked the party to find Baka, to find the shimmer, the spark, he said. A search ensued where the party found not just Baka, but another of Gideon's companions, Elliot Fern. Baka is a Briganock, a Feywildian mouse folk with a little blue flame hovering over her slumped back. She held many tools in a bag over her shoulder. She darted around, floating in the air, though she had no wings. Elliot, well, was an anthropomorphized potted plant, the happy accident of a wild magic surge. Both had rather bombastic entrances from their respective hiding places, but they both remained hidden for many, many months, unable to beat the hags. Elliot remained inert as a plant, while Baka hid in a slip in time-space, a unique ability of her folk. But once unified, they were able to come help Gideon remember. He spoke of how the pallid mask came to the facility in the hands of a stranger in yellow. Baka exclaimed how it was all her fault for not recognizing the evil of the mask, for she, as a Feywildian refugee, I didn't finish that sentence. Recognized the evil of the mask as a Feywildian refugee, but Gideon assured her that his curiosity was truly at fault. Elliot lamented not cutting the stranger in two before the evil could hurt the facility. But ultimately, Gideon struggled to remember all that happened while the mask controlled him. But he felt the presence of others while under its guise. These others aligned with the folk that the party knew or had found to be wearing a mask at some point, including Scarlet's brother. The party next discussed their plan to assault the monoliths of Queen Ayla. Gideon told them what he knew of each monolith. There is a central spire in the busy city of Sarathil. The northern spire is outside the reclusive mage city of Tor Alda. And then there's a secluded southern spire, just past the Adra River. Gideon said he could muster something to help destroy the spires, but it would need to wait until the next day. The party discussed plans of which spire they should assault first. Though the group seemed set towards Sarathil's central spire as the center of Elysia and a hub, Ekbarlgoth suggested a more strategic approach and take out the secluded monolith in order to garner support and to bring evidence of your victory to Sarathil, while potentially sending Gideon and his followers, including the Grove brothers, to take care of the northern spire. And then you can come together in the center. The party was uncertain about this, but the strategy was undeniable. While the party slept, we saw Curon, visit the fields of death, where he experienced a pleasant reunion with the scarred god Hadric. This old wayward god offered Kiran the chance to send a single message to one of his friends. He took this offer and sent words of affirmation to Timber to continue on and bear the words of Kiran and defeat the enemies of the Wayward Five. For as long as you continue the work, Kiran is still alive. The storm gathered next, and he found himself awakening with new breath in the halls of Theris Moor, in the steeped, blessed waters of Queen Ayla's throne room. Here, he joined the ranks of the Undying as Ayla's new champion, begrudgingly, and not of his own will. Morning came for the party, and they found a loud experiment happening in Gideon's main chamber. He and his companions manipulated the Feywildian rift in his home to concentrate the magic into a single point. The experiment required the help of the Wayward Five. Sarathil offered a focus to attune the magic, while Scarlet wielded the hammer of Baka. And Timber stood at the ready to pull a lever. It was a success, but it cost the party. A small bead of Feywildian magic was formed solid before Gideon wrapped it amongst his own roots and his own root-like contraption, shouting in essence, Eureka, as you've all completed this. And although half of you are deeply exhausted from this, having been either struck back by a rebounding surge of magic, or just drained of your own magical essence in the efforts of this experiment. The room is riddled with this sparking energy, this magical lightning that crackles throughout. Talray, outside, several hundred feet away as you circle the skies above, watching the perimeter of the facility, you would hear the raucous noise and the ripping sounds and almost a muted boom as you would look down and see bright purple light emanating from the greenhouse that the entrance to this lower layer remains in.
Yeah, I'd immediately swoop down to see what the hell happened.
Absolutely. So as you swoop down, you fly in and take the steps down the spiraling staircase that leads into the main chamber, which I had previously described as having kind of this system of roots that come up in a central pillar that leads up to the top of the ceiling. Vaulted ceilings, a circular room similar to the Druid Grove you'd already been to, except with several chambers that lead off into other parts of the grove. Right now, there are just sort of these little, almost like fireflies of magic kind of just floating like dust all throughout the room. As you can see, I imagine people gathering around Gideon as he holds this enclosed orb. Scarlet is... How many points of exhaustion did you get? 2.
Give us 2. Scarlet
is struggling to stand. Just as Sarathil, both of them are wiped out by this for the most part. As you can see, Baka is flying around, resetting everything and trying to control things. As you can see, sometimes these roots kind of detach from the pillar and start to flail around, enthralled with magic. As you can see, they almost become the purple magical light themselves. And she goes over and very quickly just starts to push them back in. Her little form somehow very strong in this moment. Oh yes, Talray, before you went down there, you would have noticed outside Ekbarl-Goth and Elliot Fern dueling, not in a hostile way, clearly a gentleman's duel, as much as a sentient potted plant and a demon from the abyss can have an honorable duel.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about Ekbarl-Goth there, or the potted plant, but yeah, I would definitely go to see what's the matter with the loud noise, and when I see all this, craziness, maybe I'll try and I might try and help Baka by using Druidcraft to, like, calm down the flowers. I don't know if that really counts under Druidcraft.
You know, I would say even though that is not at all what the spell is meant for and is probably stronger than the spell is, I really like that idea. So I would allow you to give me a skill check of your choice that is related to that to help her out.
Cool.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll just do a wisdom because that seems about right. I got a 10.
All right, so I guess I imagine what might happen is, since it's kind of this tall central pillar, not Ekbral Goth. What of all the names to throw in as someone's on accident, it's the word that's hardest to say right there. I think I've trained myself so hard to actually say the word name correctly that it's just forcing its way into other people's moments.
Or you're too afraid to say my name because you're wondering you might call me Talio. So
that's true, but thankfully, Talio is just outside somewhere, and I haven't had to think about him. You know what Talio's doing right now? Talio is cleaning off the arcane core that fell to the ground when Naldo died in the fight, and is just making sure
covering all the bases.
Yep,
very smooth there.
Pro DM. Talray is kind of flying around, kind of opposite of Baka as he's kind of coming up and using his druidcraft magic to kind of try to quell these plants. There's a few of them that kind of like one just sort of like whips and smacks him right in the chest, and he goes flying back, almost like when you smack a bug and they just go, but then they come flying right back to you. But together, it takes a little while, but the two of them are able to calm the plants down as Baka would kind of fly over in front of Talray, him having not been here for the ritual, and be like, Great, fresh body. Welcome. I see you were busy out there all night. I don't know what you were doing. That's great, but we need bodies. Helio, your friends, they're not doing so well. Anything you can help with? And she points down to Scarlet and Sarathil.
I guess I got these good berries. Is that helpful?
Ooh, I like your accent. Maybe. Head on down.
I go over to Scarlet first, and I lean down and I say, "Hey, wakey. I kind of gave most of my good berries to the animals, but I got like this one that was stuck in my pocket for a while. Hey, are you interested?"
If I have to.
That's the spirit, and I put it in her mouth.
Does it help?
It gives you 1 HP.
I have 142.
and you have all the nutritional value you need for the rest of the day.
There's like fuzzy from the pocket. Delray, that's disgusting. Oh, Sarathil, don't eat it. Don't. It doesn't help.
I should have let you know. I didn't think that was going to.
Well, why the fuck didn't you?
I'm.
Question.
Grasping onto the left.
The little guy told me to try something, so I tried something.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we just assuming, like, are we just that Sarathil casts Mind Blank repeatedly, or does he need to say it?
No, we've been assuming. Otherwise, we would have had many opportunities for you to go Blood Raven on this.
Go rogue.
Yeah, I think mostly we'll assume that it happens if we're waking up together in situations.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Will somebody explain what the hell is going on down here?
Of course. New champion.
Oh God.
Well, I like the sound of champion more than...
You see Gideon is there, and he is holding this orb, and he steps over and sort of puts a hand on Scarlet and Sarathil's shoulders, kind of together, as he'll just say, "I can't thank you enough for the sacrifices you've made for this process. And there's
Oh,
more
we
work
need-
to be done. And you see he reaches into his striped overalls, where he has all these pockets, and pulls a handful of gems out, crushes them in his hand like solid diamonds that just burst into a kind of a flurry of fireflies that he then kind of opens his hands and they fly into both of your chests as he casts Greater Restoration on the both of you.
What a
Does that
guy.
get rid of all levels of exhaustion? Or just one?
Let me read it real quick. It reduces it by 1. So you're both back to 1 level of exhaustion. You still feel...
You only had one, I think, right? Did you only have one? Or did you have 2?
I don't remember. I think you actually only had 1, because
I think
Scarlet,
I
you
only
had...
had
one.
Yeah,
I
you
got
took
2.
more. You took more. I think I took 1.
Yeah, Scarlet,
So-
you had more.
I'm not as tired. Still tired, just not as tired.
Yeah, but it does sort of, you feel your muscles ease. Sarathil, you feel yourself no longer kind of drained of all your magical abilities. I feel like, I don't know why, but in my head, when Sarathil's like magical abilities are drained, for some reason I feel like he has a stuffy nose. Maybe that's because you had a stuffy nose last week.
Most likely.
But suddenly your sinuses clear up as well.
Oh my gosh. It's like hot mustard.
Thank you.
I'm feeling better. Yes. I think we can't thank you enough for the assistance you're bringing us here, taking down these pillars.
Of course.
Wait, how? I'm confused. I mean, I know that you guys need healing and whatever he just did, but how is this helping us defeat the monoliths?
If you hadn't run off, you wouldn't know the plan. Excuse
Oh,
me,
forgive-
flown off.
But he was
Forgive
flying off.
me,
He was flying off to help
please.
us to find my good friends Bucker and Elliot. He may have gotten lost. These forests are bewildering. But my dear boy, I must tell you what we are doing here. In this, he holds up the root-like sphere, and you see the roots pull back, and you can see this small, tiny bead, kind of like it almost looks like a seed, is glowing really bright, the same light as the a Feywildian rift that you see above. This root pillar wraps around a Feywild rift. It, like in its current state, it looks like the roots are what hold it in and prevent it from spreading further. So it just kind of looks like almost like this power source that it seems like a lot of the magic in this area runs off of.
We made that.
As a Fey, can I immediately identify that it's a power source and exactly what it is?
Yeah, you know it's a Fey font.
Okay, and if I do I understand that those things are usually based off of location and aren't portable?
Correct, yes, because you would know that in your homeland of Taramran, communities are often built around Fey fonts. Communes of the Wood Elves, if they find a Fey font, they will localize it, isolate it, prevent it from growing too big, and use it to feed the commune, essentially.
Now, this is something pretty impressive. I mean, what a feat! This is fantastic. But I got to imagine that there's some risk to something like this being created.
I think.
That thing looks kind of volatile to me. What if the casing gets damaged or something? Are we gonna have an all-out, portal fiasco going on?
The dangers are a part of saving the world. Trust
Are we
me.
gonna use it like a bomb?
No,
Purposely throw it at the monolith and see what happens?
not at all. The plan, as I said before you arrived, is you take the might, the Feywild, infused the blessings of the moon, and a part of each of these champions. Planted at the base of the monolith. What grows from that will spark our future.
Sounds promising.
Now, I
They-
do want to, yes, as our friend said, in a more literal sense, what should we expect?
You see Baka flutters down and is flying next to Gideon. He means a big-ass tree's gonna grow and rip the monolith apart.
Well, very
Okay.
well.
I like this.
You have no flair for the poetic.
Listen, I'm a straight shooter here. I need, dumb answers. Giant tree smashing a big rock? Love it.
You need dumb answers, you come to Baka. You need poems, you go to Gideon. All right, well, what was your name? She points to Talray.
My name's Talray Glomaroon.
All right, Talray Glomaru.
Talray's fine.
Sorry. You folks, ready for round 2?
Right now.
I mean, I'm good.
Oh,
Are you
I'm
good?
feeling better. I'm
we
feeling
gotta
better.
make 2 more of these things?
Yeah, they're one charge. One boom. One tree.
All right, let's go. Let's get it over with.
All right. And you see she rushes up to your face, Rowan, as they know you, and squeezes your cheeks again.
No.
You sure about this, Missy?
What? Yes, just do it before I change my mind.
All right.
Can we take the first one out of here first, just so we don't have an accidental tree explosion?
Brilliant, of course. Safety first. Second. Well, it's second because we did this already. All right.
I
Give me a
summon
moment.
Mundy, and he grabs it and flies off.
Oh my, gorgeous. I'm getting distracted. All right, Rowan,
Yep.
to the Nexus.
Yep. Just take the hammer and just go.
Sarathil.
Yes. Opening up his book, like, on your mark, I'll be ready.
Excellent.
Show off.
Timber.
My hand has never left the lever. I've been Timber's been like leaning on the lever, just like it's like, why are you guys exhausted? Like, I don't
This is
understand.
the easiest experiment I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, like
And you, Talray. Baka! Is there something for him to help with? She flies down and she kind of goes up to your face, Talray, and she's like, what do you do?
I pull out my gun and I shoot the floor.
Nope, please do not do that. That is not what you want to do at all, ever, again.
All right. Sorry. Maybe this will help. And I cast, I don't know, absorb elements, which does nothing because there's no magical things. But
That was pretty.
it just
That was pretty. I imagine like a little shimmer went over your body as it's a reaction to magic hitting you. Okay. Well, whatever flowery stuff you were doing before, that could help keep the contraption stable. The pillar. That's the biggest, most dangerous part of this is that the potential instability of the rift within the pillar of roots. So
I got something for that. And I cast Guardian of Nature, and I use my Great Tree that I usually use just to get proficiency for things. But it also says that while I'm on the ground, 15 feet of me becomes difficult terrain of like scraggly roots. So basically, I just stand next to the experiment, and a bunch of roots grow on the grounds and wrap around it.
all right, that'll definitely help.
And it gives me temporary hit points just in case this thing blows up in my face.
Where is that?
Open his face.
There's a very good chance it'll blow up in your face.
All right, excellent. I like it. All right, well, you're gonna be joining me, okay? Come on up. And she starts to float upwards. All right, Gideon. Is the staff ready? You see, he holds up the staff. Of course. And you see, she immediately goes in and starts to do exactly what she did before. She takes out the little chisel with the tiny hammer, and rapidly, way too fast, is carving Feywildian runes into the staff.
Guess I could have used spike growth too, but whatever.
She flutters up to the branches. She looks to each of you. Rowan, you ready?
Yep.
Remember.
On your call, yes, I remember.
Also, there's only one chance.
No pressure. Yes, I remember.
She flies down towards you and she looks at your face.
What?
You see she grabs your cheek and kind of pulls your eye down a little to look in your eye.
What are you doing?
Say,
Ah.
not like that. Have you ever seen any kind of medicine or surgeon? No, go
You're
ah. Stick your tongue out. Okay, all right. And she sort of smacks your cheek and pops her own good berry in your mouth. Except this is not it's not a good berry. It's like a.
Tastes like cough medicine.
It absolutely tastes like cough medicine. She's like, all right. Swallow it. Okay. Do you need a drink?
Yeah.
Don't have one. Okay. She flies up. That's just a little bit of liquid courage, a little guidance.
Great. Thank you.
You have guidance.
Wonderful.
There's artificers actually can cast guidance. And you seem like you need it. You seem a little tired.
What did you call them?
Artificer.
I like it.
Yeah, I used to call them artificers, but then I heard someone say artificer, and it's just bugged its way into my head. Ekbarogoth. Anyway. All right, Rowan is all set, flying over to Sarathil. I feel like you got this all down, dead man. You good?
Earth to dead man?
Sarathil.
I'm sorry.
There was a message I had myself on.
You're good.
I am at the ready.
Excellent. She flies over. She like flies over towards you, Timber, but just kind of zoops past you. She's like, he's fine. Wake up, Wolfman.
Yeah, I'm right here. I've been watching everything, and just tell me when.
All right, Gideon, you ready? I've never been more ready, maybe except for the first one. All right. Once again, we're channeling the powers beyond something glorious. One last thank you to you all.
Get on with it.
For that which you do for the moon and the people of Elysia. Takes the staff up and snaps it in half over his knee. And you hear, you immediately see the roots all kind of unfurl as they did last time, creating that kind of mirror of roots all around that spread their arms out. Kind of, you can see it almost seems to expand the rift for a moment, and then it starts to be controlled, and you all feel the whirling winds all around you. As Baka would be like, she would call out over to Talray and say, all right, new guy with the horns and dragon. It's time. Let's keep these tentacles calm. All right, Talray, you get to give me a skill check of your choice related to what you said you did with your Guardian of Nature. Because it's a spell like Guardian of Nature, I'll give you advantage to add your roll to this skill challenge.
Okay, I'm just gonna do, I guess my spell attack, if that's okay, or would it just be a wisdom save?
I'd say, I mean, you could do I'd say you could do. Were you proficient in nature?
No.
What are you proficient in?
Perception, survival, insight. That's it.
I'll let you do survival.
Okay, here we go. Roll it up. 19.
19, all right. All right, so you see, because it already went through one of these today, the roots do start to get that like etherealness all over them, where they start to writhe around and they get a little unstable, but Baka and Talray are on it. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wolfman, pull that lever. And you see the rippling magic starts to roar even more as the roots seem to almost curl in to concentrate the magic. All right, here it comes. All that magic. Dead man, you're up.
Channeling through his book, he is focusing on the rift and centralizing it.
All right, give me an Arcana check.
Yeah, dude. 23.
23, excellent.
Nice.
Okay. You watch as the magic then funnels downward into the focus created by Sarathil. All right, it's coming down. Do you see it? Rowan, do you have your eyes on it?
Yes,
descending.
I see it.
Here we go.
I see it.
Now!
I don't remember what we rolled for this last time.
So we did acrobatics, but I'm starting to come around to that not maybe being a great one for your second time around. I was a little charitable on my side. It's charitable on my side. So what I would say is you could do athletics, or I would say you could do, technically you're using smith tools. So you could do a smith's tool check, which is your strength plus your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, let's do that. Smith's tools check. Because that's a +6 versus a +1. Plus guidance. All right, here we go.
You also have disadvantage because you're exhausted.
That's right.
That's why I gave you guidance.
Oh no. That's math. That's it.
You're about to blow up.
Yep. 13.
Okay.
Fuck.
Scarlet, give me a D100 roll.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Wild magic surge.
Woo! 31.
31.
Oh no.
All right. So we're going to flavor this a little bit. Everyone looking would see what you saw last time. The bead of light came down into the pillar of roots in the center where Scarlet's at the nexus. Rowan's at the nexus. You can't see Rowan from where you all are, but you see a familiar flash of light like you saw last time when she struck it with the hammer. Rowan, what you see is you bring the hammer down and you just watch as it just doesn't hit it right. You know, like you hit it too early, so it wasn't nestled in the nexus, and it just kind of gets knocked down like a bouncy ball getting hit into the ground. And this is a bead of unstable Facidian, essentially. So, Scarlet, you see that happen, and there's a flash. You all see that flash happen, and you see like everyone zipping around, and then you can kind of see as there's just sort of this erupting of magic that explodes upward out of it. Does anyone have any reactions they want to use at this point? Basically, you're seeing a magical explosion happening.
Yeah. Counterspell.
Uncanny dodge.
Scarlet, you're not going to get affected by it.
Really?
Yeah.
Right there.
You're not right there. Talry, what did you say?
Oh no.
I'm using absorb elements. I don't know what type of elements it is, but if
Okay,
it's
fair.
one of the ones on the list, then maybe I'll be able to avoid some damage.
Okay.
Hold on. Give me just
Go ahead.
one
No,
second.
no problem. Take your time.
Sean, am I holding the lever down, or do I just
Yes,
need to
you
pull
are.
it once? Oh.
Yeah, you're holding lever
Okay.
down.
In that case, I'm gonna. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but I'm gonna try to reaction shield. Just-
Hold on. This is. I'm gonna attempt it. And it's gonna be at your discretion. Can I, as a reaction, as quickly as I can, cast slow around it and immediately just be like, "Everybody, get the hell out of here!" Just to delay the
I
explosion.
like that. That is a creative use of a spell. We'll absolutely allow that. I'm just gonna need checks from
Yes.
from some of you. So go ahead and give me an Arcana check. I gotta turn. Of course, the battle cam didn't turn freaking streamer mode on.
Oh no.
So I hope you've all enjoyed the Discord sounds. Okay. What'd you get in that Arcana check?
30.
Yeah, that'll do it. All right. So those of you who are still there, you would see this welling of magic coming up, and then suddenly it time completely shifts around it, and almost seems like there's this warping field that goes around it, and then you start to see these purplish pink fires just sort of creeping up slowly, blooming. It's going incredibly slow, so if there's anything else anyone wants to do that's not a reaction, that's just action based, you can do so now.
I would listen to Sarathil and get the fuck out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I guess
That can't be run away.
Going RP through this, since you're allowing me to do this, I will channel focusing over this slowly, and because it is concentration, concentrating onto it. I guess at first I'd be like, everybody who can get out. Gideon, is there anything you could do to absorb this blow?
Yes. Give me a moment. Hold it back just a moment more, dear boy. And you'd see he would rush around kind of where the core of the explosion is. He looked in there, and you'd see he'd stop for a moment and be like, oh dear, where is she going? Scarlet. The unstable magic teleported you away.
Oh great.
You were basically sucked into a tiny rift that was created by the impact and pulled elsewhere.
Cool. Where am I?
It's
Caerdolan. You're in Caerdolan.
you're in the
my
middle
God.
of the meeting with
No!
That's in 7 days. Can you imagine?
Oh man, that'd be cool.
No, you're suddenly you find yourself kind of alone. There is dust all around, whipping like a wild dust storm is happening around you. You look down and your feet are in about maybe a foot of water, and it is water that is filled with kind of like rotted vegetation. And there's this yellow, toxic fog blowing all around you. You need you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Got it. Is it disadvantage on saving throws?
No, it's just skill checks.
Skill checks, okay. Wow. 12. Even with advantage.
You are considered poisoned. You take 10 points of poison damage. You immediately start coughing really aggressively to the point where you almost feel like you're going to throw up. And it tastes terrible on your tongue. It almost tastes like pure, like the hottest hot sauce you've ever had. Like pure capsaicin, the actual spice of hot, this chemical of hot sauce. Your mouth feels burning a bit, and you begin to sweat immediately your eyes become bloodshot as you're stricken by this. As the wind all kind of blows away, you can see on the horizon is a several 100-foot tall rotting tree. You can just hear the large branches falling from, as there's like cracks in it. You can see like behind those cracks every now and then it's just sort of this radiating energy that almost doesn't look like, say, like a glowing light pulsing. It looks like this smog pulsing out of it.
Did Kieran ever describe this to us?
Yeah, I'd say
So
in one of
would
your
I know
guys'
it's the
group
Feywild?
chats, you guys talked about your medieval group chats. You talked about the Feywild.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Do I see a big old worm anywhere?
No. But you do hear things sloshing around in the water that you're standing in. And as you can look around, as this smog is spewed around, you can see that you're in a swamp. You can see swamp caps all around and large, thorny brambles that have grown around. And you hear just sort of like as you can see, these myconids are all coming out of the fog. Those who don't know, myconids are mushroom people.
I'd like to run, please.
As you take one step, you feel, and you're sucked back to the material plane, where you would come falling backwards. Suffer from another point of exhaustion. As you would be pushed back and you kind of collapse against Gideon's legs. And he would lift you to your feet as quickly as possible and say, you must go, my girl, into the next room, please. As you look up and see the contained explosion that Sarathil is holding.
Shit. I'm sorry.
Sean,
Yeah.
as I'm running away, is there a possibility that I could take a shot at this thing? Because I want to try disintegrating it.
A shot at what, specifically?
The explosion, like generally the
The
directly
Fey
right
fire?
into the middle
Just
of
the
it.
Fey fire?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, you know, it's magic, and I can dispel magic things with it, so why not? I shoot it with my disintegrate gun.
Oh my god. Alex, I feel how you look. Let chaos reign.
It's like,
If
know,
you want the
it's like-
reading, it
Guys,
says
it's the law of negatives. 2 explosions make no explosion.
Yep. They cancel each other out.
hey, it works on Wall of Force. The spell
It's
automatically
the only thing it
disintegrates.
destroys.
Oh, slow down. The spell automatically disintegrates a large or smaller non-magical object or a creation of magical force. So, I mean,
Okay,
this seems
fair.
like a creation of magical force to me.
What'd you get?
I don't need to roll for it. It just destroys it.
You're just casting Disintegrate on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
You have to
'Cause
shoot your
I'm-
gun to do
I mean, if you want me to
disintegrate?
roll for it, I'll roll for it.
Instead of exploding, you implode it instead, and you get a tiny black hole.
Oh,
God.
great.
And then we all go to the mushroom people.
You created a gateway straight to the Fae.
Yeah.
I was trying not to call them, I should have said fungal creatures, because I can't help but when I hear the word mushroom, think of the mushroom man from Elden Ring.
Yes.
You've lived a life of sin. All right, let's see. If the target is huge or a larger object or a creation of force, this spell disintegrates a 10-foot cube portion of it. The magic item is unaffected by this spell. Creation of force. That is a vague term that they've put here. What I'm going to say, though, is that it's not a creation of force, because it's not anything. It's not something you can target. It is it's the fiery offshoot of a magical reaction. It's not. It's like shooting fire and thinking that it's going to destroy that.
Fair enough.
So what happens?
I'm not going. It just fires a disintegrate ray into. What's
behind
well, now
it?
I'm thinking about the other ways that it's labeled there. Automatically disintegrates a large or small lot, or a creation of magical force.
It'd be really funny if it just went through the explosion and hit somebody.
Well, thankfully, there's no one on the other side of it, but it is going to probably damage their Parallel of Roots. So, Talray fires off a beam of disintegration towards this opening, towards the explosion. It goes through the explosion because it's not a target, not targetable object or thing. But what is a targetable object is the root structures of this pillar. So you would see immediately behind it, you know what I'm going to say is that we can see the beam of disintegration is also caught within the slow field of Sarathil. So it's just there's more destruction inside the slow field. Except this is directional. This one's
Trying to help.
What the are you doing? shouting to Talray. I could barely keep the power of this contained right now. Get him out of here, somebody!
Christ! And then Timur's gonna fucking tackle him and then try to.
I just take the tackle and just start flying. So now I'm just like dragging him along.
Yeah. Now I'm just holding on to Talray as he's flying out.
Oh my
God, what
goodness.
a visual.
I love that. So this all happens as Scarlet hobbles her way out. Gideon would shout over to you, Sarathil. He says, I have one thing that may help. I don't know if it will stop. I don't know if it'll stop everything. How long can you hold this?
I'm gonna roll.
Yeah.
Hold on. I want to do this.
Yeah, Elliot Fern is just going to pull a Groot and come down and expand his roots all around it.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, for maybe 5 minutes at most.
All right, this will take a lot out of me, but I should be able to do this. All right. And you see he immediately mends the staff back together. And you can see he starts to whip it around, as you can see trails of water and trails of wind seem to be formed by it. As he then kind of calls out for Baka to come in. As you can see, Baka begins to cast a spell as well. Her magic is more material based, so she begins to extract several pieces and parts out of her shoulder bag, which now is very clearly a bag of holding, as she's pulling out way too many things from it. As you can see, she starts to slowly fit together pieces of metal and different magical artifacts and roots and different things, druid crafting to grow around things. As you can see, she jams this like emerald-like jewel into the center of this thing. This thing looks like it just is ready to fall apart. It looks like it itself might explode. And you see Gideon is doing this. You see Feywildian runes start to form, as well as Elysian runes and other magic and arcane magic. It's all swirling together now in this vortex of wind and water. All right, Baka. As soon as I have cast the spell, You must drop the device in, and hopefully it will quell the energies of it, and the ore wall will cease anything from getting out. All right. Sarathil, on my count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He snaps the staff in half again. As you can see, the wind and water rushes forward in a tsunami as he casts the spell Tsunami on all of it. As you can see, water rips up and down, trying to contain as much of the magical force as possible. As you can see, it all quickly starts to shoot out, and some of it does leach out. You can see ripples of magic, almost like sun flares coming off of this. As the water heats up super fast, the room is filled with steam, and then Baka tosses up this device, and you see as soon as it gets above it, it shatters. The emerald in it shatters, and then sort of magically out of the emerald just shoots out this massive dome wall of stone that flings over the whole thing. That you just see it and then you hear Gideon shout to Sarah, "Hit the deck!" As they both jump to the ground, as it's then just sort of and you see several of these rocks get fired off and splintered out into all directions. Some too small to really do any harm, others pretty large. You can see one hits into the root systems, sending things flailing around. As you can see,
a dex saving throw.
Yeah, let's do a dex saving throw.
Ooh, nat 20, but it's a 19.
Yeah, Sarathil, you're able to hide behind some root structures. I
like to think I'm so thin. I just turn and it's will barely ever hit me.
I imagine Sarathil just as an old man, just walking really slowly, and just big rocks falling 2 inches from where he just was.
Yep.
But no, it all kind of comes to a calm as as you see Baka flies over and lifts the lever, shuts the machine down. As you can see, rocks are everywhere, roots are splayed all over the place. There's this loose rift that's still there that is pulsing with energy, since it's no longer contained within a fully functioning root system. The disintegrate didn't destroy anything. It got consumed in the tsunami spell, as well as the Face Cidian explosion.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I missed by that much. Fuck. Did we still... We didn't get it, did we?
No.
Afraid not.
I can do it again.
Not today, my dear. It was a mistake for us to even put you in that position.
I can do it. We can do it again. We have to. We don't have time.
We can't do it again. Not till Baka and I have repaired this. If we do it again, that rift is even more unstable. We can open it further. It could shut completely, which is a destruction you don't want to see.
Sorry.
Zelth will walk over, try to pat her and be like, "It's all right. We're
No,
safe."
it's not
That's
all right. I've set us back however long it's going to take to repair this.
Turn back to
I don't know
Gideon.
why
It's
I missed. How could I miss? It was right there.
We've gone through a lot in the past 3 days. How long do you think it'll take to repair?
Well, Baka and I will need to assess the situation, but Baka has some unique abilities that might be able to speed up the process.
Well, I can help
Fix
in
it
any way I
again.
can.
I can hold things. I'm not magic, but I can hold things.
what you all have done here today, with just this... Oh, I don't have it. The dragon dog has it. This alone is brilliant. Fantastic. You should be proud of that. Rest. You do not need to help us. We'll get Elliot down here, and your friend Ekbolgoth can hold things. Unless you know the spell Time Stop by any chance, Sarathil.
Afraid slows the extent of my time warping abilities.
If you find I truly recommend, if you ever come upon that spell, write it down. It's a good one. I met a traveler once who had it. It was a strange experience, one might say. But go, rest. Make your plans. We have one seed. For now, at least. I believe there's much for you all to discuss as far as where you are going to go. And we will report what timing it will take to repair, and hopefully we will have this ready tomorrow for another set.
Turn around and stalk off to go back to where we were sleeping.
She's rather hard on herself.
She has her reasons to be.
This is not the first time we've blown up this machine.
Well, I doubt it was the first time that anyone's ever shot at it to contain it.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, Timber and Talray. What were you thinking? Why were you...
I
You
thought
could
it was
have
a
made
pretty
that
good
way
one.
worse. Sarathil had it under control. Gideon was...
I don't know how under control they had it. I think that was pretty much not under control.
Well, they were attempting to, not your method, which was to make it way worse.
Well, you don't know until you try. You know what
Oh.
they say.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah, throw a bomb into a fire. You don't know until you try, right?
It wasn't a bomb. It was a bullet.
Oh, okay. Yes. How many dead horses have you killed?
I'm gonna assume I don't understand that. I'm assuming it's a metaphor.
Timber just
Mundy's got the device in his mouth and he's digging a hole, and I'm like, Mundy, no, stop it.
You see Baka flies in. She's got a little like soot on her face and dirt from the explosion, and she looks over and flies over to you, Scarlet, and just sort of doesn't. She, where I thought you said you stalked back to the bedroom area.
Yeah, are we like close to that?
It's like right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just down the hallway. It's just on the hallway. She's particularly follows after you. I should say actually.
Okay. All right.
I
So
think as Scarlet walks by, I just say, so I take it everything's all right? Everyone's okay?
Shut up. I just keep walking.
Okay. So she would flutter past you two, and towards Scarlet into the next room. Kind of carrying, I imagine, Scarlet, that you kind of just left that hammer back there. You didn't take it with you.
Yep.
Yeah. You see,
I
she
don't
kind
deserve to hold it right now.
You see, she's holding on to it. It's shrunk back to her size.
Yeah.
And she comes fluttering and it's just kind of hovering in front of you.
What? I know, I fucked up. I wasn't supposed to go that. I was early. I'm sorry.
Hey. Relax. I'm surprised it didn't happen earlier. This is
Shouldn't
tough.
have happened at all. We don't have time for this. We have to go. We have to go. We have things to do. And this is my fault. We've set us back. I don't even know how long.
Trust me. Gideon and I will get that thing working in no time.
We shouldn't have to. We should be fixing it or finishing it right now.
Well,
Getting
there's
ready
a
to
lot of
move.
things that we shouldn't have to do that happen when we're trying to help other people.
It shouldn't have happened.
Here, take this for a second. And she hands you the thing. Grows super big in your hands right away again.
I don't. Why?
I look. Hey. Look at me. Rowan. She smushes your cheeks. But I mean, really look at me. I'm... give or take a couple centuries, 10,000 years old. Calculated in how many years I spent inside the time slip, probably incalculable, really. And I miss all the time. I've swung that hammer beyond count. But you gotta practice. Do you wanna practice? You got a lot of frustration to get out anyway.
Right.
So you go upstairs. We got two things you can practice on. Sorry, but we don't really have any forges here. What we do have is a wedge and some old dead logs that you can smash. And if you really want, if you want it to be, I mean, it's a little wasteful, but we can eat it for dinner. But you can smash. We have some spike melons. We have a spike melon patch. They're pretty fun to crack open. But it sounds like you need to get some frustration out.
Yeah, I do.
And then get some rest. Tomorrow, we'll start over. Nothing we could do now. What happened, happened.
Take the hammer and I'll go find the melons.
Just make sure you clean off the spike melon juice after. Or we're gonna have trouble, sister.
I just kind of hold the hammer up to show that I heard her.
Okay. She flutters back to the room with Sarathil and Gideon, and she starts to fly around the root system. Oh boy, okay. We're gonna need to isolate the rift before, so we can do some work around this, make sure it doesn't expand, all that fun stuff. We're gonna need to rejuvenate the roots, make sure that we don't over-aggressively grow them, or they can get damaged or mutate. And we're gonna need to restabilize the nexus. Alrighty then. Gideon, this is probably gonna take us quite a while, but if with enough time, I can probably create a time slip. It's just a little bit dangerous. What do you think? And then she also kind of looks to you, Sarathil, after saying, what do you think, to Gideon?
I'm re-entering whenever I get...
Yeah.
I'm willing to help whatever it takes to do this. So I'm okay.
Okay. And Gideon looks at you, Sarathil, and he kind of hobbles over with his staff and puts his hand on your shoulder and says, my dear boy, do you prefer time or a riskier venture? We can do this on a slower timetable, or we can use the time slip and could get worse, but it can also get better.
The time slip. You're talking about localizing this area so we move faster than everything else around.
Yeah, about we'll gain an hour for every, if I do my calculations again by looking up this character's stat block. Why? There you go. To do my calculations correctly, we will have 1 hour for every couple seconds that passes in real time.
What are the chances of success? Is the risk that you're incorporating myself and Gideon into your time slip?
Yes. Now it's no problemo, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If I do it to myself, but trying to enhance its size and incorporate other beings within, it can get a little weird time when you do that.
Meaning it'll affect us in a negative way, or
I don't know. To be honest, it's an aggressive use of the planar magic of time and space. It could be nothing. It could be no problem. You could get your localized time stream could get fucked up, and you could age 100 years. You can get unstuck from time, where you can't concentrate on one timeline, and you're seeing all sorts of shit, and you don't know what to do, and you go catatonic. You could we could blow everything up again, and instead create a rift hole in space and time, instead of just this one layer of space and time. But everything could be fine. I've done it in a 10-foot cube. But this isn't a 10-foot cube. You could also turn it into a potted plant. Elliot Fern would like that, but don't know if you would. Yes, an undead immortal plant would be odd.
the risk to myself, it doesn't waver me away too much, but the thought that it could affect everyone else. You've never done this before. Maybe the risk is too great.
Well, all I'll say is without the time slip, this will take much longer. Now, I can do it on my own. It'll still take long, but not as long. I'd say if we do the time slip, this will be done easily before tomorrow. If we don't do the time slip, it'll probably take me 3 to 4 days. Without the time slip, it'll take us at least a week or two.
May I chime in?
Sure thing, hotshot.
Well, the way I see it, I mean, this really depends on what our next plan is. If we want a coordinated strike on the monoliths, then we need all of the devices at once. And the time slip seems like the only way that's going to be possible in a short amount of time. We don't want to give, Queen Ayla too much time to amass her defenses. She doesn't really know what we're planning yet. But if we want to take the successful one and, try it out on a monolith before and come back, and then maybe the other things will be ready by then. I mean, that's a possibility. I'm under the impression that it's probably better to do it all at once, and in which case we've got to take this risk to complete this as quickly as possible.
As much as I hate to agree, it'd be better off if we had everything all at once. I worry if we were to take one and destroy a monolith, come back, the time we're spending coming back here and traveling to the other monoliths, Queen Ayla will have a countermeasure in defense of the other ones. The importance of taking down these monoliths is taking each one down as quickly as possible after the first.
Yes, so if you take down one of these monoliths, Queen Ella will certainly reinforce the others.
But we have a limited time once we show our hand with the first one.
Right.
Is there any way I could help you in this time slip? All, unfortunately, I know is, as you saw, the slow spell, but is there with something behind it? There's something, the magic that you have where I could assist you. Is the magic similar, or is it?
In addition to that, do you have another, I guess, lab or station for this sort of
We have
experimentation?
we have minor stations. They're meant for less vigorous research. This is our only rift that can harness this magic. It would be far too dangerous if two rifts were open this close to one another. They'd fuse and destruction would certainly follow. So even if we do find rifts, we close them as soon as we find them. But perhaps there are ways that we can assist with maintaining the time slip's veracity. Baka, what exactly do you know of the risks, how it might affect Sarathil and I? Well, you see, like I said, time is weird. And degenerative to the mental state if you're not attuned to the weirdness. I suppose if you have means of stemming your magic into mine to stabilize it further, that is a possibility. If you have regenerative magics you can cast if things grow weak, or if I grow weak.
I do know the regenerate spell.
Well, that's a start. That is something that can help. What I would say is,
if it is a question of you becoming fatigued.
if we can there is one spell I might know that might help. I've never cast it before, but it is a spell that if I exert enough of my power into, and then you can keep me regenerated after I do so, we can tether our essences together, which will allow you to be as attuned as I am to time, its weirdness. But it's going to take a lot out of me to do that. So if you and Gideon can do anything to keep me up, keep me chipper, give me that fire.
Understood. Yes, I believe I can assist with that.
Okay. Yes. A day of great experiments. And with one setback, may we only find the footing to climb to the next mountain. We shall make preparations.
Sounds like you don't need me for this one.
Yes, Taure and Timber. Speak with Scarlet and Talio in the meantime. needs a plan of where we should be traveling next. Ekbal, I think, is right. I think we hit the least secure one. His strategy and his wits and tactics, I think, will prove some useful here. He has a better mind in this than I think the rest of us do.
He is pretty good with the sword.
I agree. All right. Let's go.
All right.
It's really important you don't walk into this room at any point until we come back. Because you can get sucked off into some timey-wimey bullshit.
Don't worry, I've been there.
Timber,
A lot of dimensional travel. You know how that is.
make
Timber
sure.
puts his hand on Tyler's shoulder. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Okay. All right, so the two of you go off to find Scarlet and Talio to discuss your plans. While Sarathil, you'll stay behind with Baka and Gideon to repair the Pillar of Roots. Alrighty. Well, I think that's a good time for us to take a break. And then we'll jump back into it with the conversation upstairs about what you guys are doing. And then we'll jump into Sarathil fixing some shit. All right. I just remembered I have to send this to the break. All right, folks, we'll be back in 5 minutes, so please stick around and hang out with us more. Say goodbye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Welcome back, everybody, to Advantage in Paradise. Our heroes just botched the creation of a seed of the Feywild. That resulted in a wild magic surge and an unfortunate Facidian explosion. Truthfully, I think it's who was in charge of the experiment's fault. They should have noticed that there was unsafe protocol going on. One of the interns was way too tired and should have been sent home to sleep. But you know, we are where we are. So they've just made the choice to use some more unsafe and risky magic to repair the damage that was done, so they can continue making these seeds of the Feywild in order to attack Queen Ayla's monoliths. But before we get into the repairs, we are going to check in with the rest of the party that are gathering upstairs to discuss what they believe they should do next.
Smashing a bunch of melons.
Yeah, so when you guys walk up there, this is what you would see in the courtyard. There is a giant anthropomorphized potted plant who is having a sword fight with Ekbrolgoth still. That's just raging. As you just see, Ekbrolgoth is just... I could do a Curon really well. I don't know if I could do an Ekbrolgoth.
I believe in you.
Yes, you call yourself the Knight of the Green. More like Knight of the... Bean.
How dare you? How dare you call me such insults? I will bring my sword through your flesh. Except this is an honorable duel, and I'm a man of virtue, a plant of virtue, the Knight of the Green. I will bring you down, smout, demon.
Bam, 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 they clash. Completely oblivious to the rest of you gathering outside. It's about midday. You can hear like a lot of the sounds of animals all about. You've been in so many high stakes fights and moments that you really haven't gotten a chance since you first got here, or really not even then, to appreciate Alicia. Especially once the hag's influence was dissipated here. You can see all manner of wildlife has returned. Rich sounds of animals, insects, all manner of breeze, and there's a gentle kind of, it's not raining right now, but there's like a little bit of a mist about you. As the skies have cleared up, the fog from this region has cleared up, and it's a nice reminder, oddly enough, even though it's still cold here, that spring is on its way. You're still in the gloaming, the shadow months, but the Vala months are coming. So you can see the outer ring of the sun behind the black star that is the eclipse through the twilight of Alicia. And the warm breezes are comforting. Splat!
Another meteor crashes down.
I am.
Oh,
So another demon steps up. No, you can see Scarlet's over there smashing spike melons. You can see they're these really deep purple melons. They almost look like dragon eggs in the way that the peels are almost scale-like. And you see this particularly when Scarlet hits them, but they basically porcupine when anything touches them, like spikes shoot out of them. So Scarlet has to be very careful when she like puts them on the tree stump that she then smashes. Scarlet has a few cuts on her hands.
Yeah. And I imagine too, like, because the poison stayed, right, coming from the
Oh yeah,
Feywild.
you're still feeling pretty sick.
Yeah, great. So I imagine that, like, just between smashing melons, there's just like a coughing fit, and then maybe she vomits at some point and just wipes the back of her mouth with her hand and just goes at it again and is just teetering, like just exhausted, but she
Yeah.
is not stopping. She's pissed, and I imagine there's like a little bit of the erupted flesh comes out, and you can maybe kind of see it crawling up her arms a little bit.
Yeah, I like to imagine the erupted flesh comes out a bit just because you are sick, and it's like when you get a fever, you get a little erupted flesh.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I also like to imagine that a lot of like the fruit juice is like burnt up on her skin, so like you smell it in the air, like a candle. Yeah,
Yep. Excellent. Just a sad sight.
Oh, those are perfectly. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother her. She looks like she needs some time alone.
Yeah, she does.
The fruit inside is a very beautiful blue, with kind of like as if watermelon was blue, is basically what the inside looks like. Talia would walk up to you, Timber, you would see Talia walking towards you two, you two.
Talio, what does our can you give me an update on our resources, our equipment? What do we have? How many people? And
Yes, well, I've just been watching this very loud duel happening in the courtyard and polishing this as he holds up the arcane core to you.
Well, let's keep this safe. It's like I imagine there's like a cloth like underneath it, as he's like, and then the Timber just like takes the cloth and just just like puts it like right back on, like the eye of like the orb of like Mordor. It's like, let's just put this back. Let's just
What's all been accounted for?
We don't know who might be watching.
Keep this safe. How do you want to approach these towers? Now, we have only a certain amount of man-woman power to engage these monoliths, as they are probably people power. We probably want to think about if we are capable, just sending one man in for infiltrating, just to plant and then run on one method.
Well,
instead of...
I mean, that strategy might be easier for the monolith that's within the city. I'm sure
True.
that there's a lot more ways to sneak in close without, guard shifts, things like that.
I've seen 2 out of 3 of the monoliths.
Okay.
In my time in the Veiled Wardens, before I was exiled for my friendship with Kieran. Particularly the southern spire. It's not protected by the Veiled Wardens, but we need to work in unison with the Lunar Protectorate there, and I have seen their facilities. The spire in Sarathil I have seen, but I do not know the facilities, because everyone can see the spire in Sarathil. But the bulwark, the fortifications around it, I have not seen the inside of. The northern spire few have seen, because nobody really goes up there, because no one really trusts the wizards up there.
Now, Queen Ayla has eyes on us, technically, correct?
Yes. Her eyes are weakest in these forests, because they are beyond the river, which is the line of monoliths. But every inch of Elysia is under her vision. I'm certain Gideon has warded this place as best he can. How weak those wards are is uncertain, since he has spent so long lost in the mask.
Well, do you know? You said that she can't see us because of the forest. Is that because of some magic, or she actually has some sort of ability to look from the sky?
No, I mean magic. She is, from our understandings and from what I have discussed with Huron, her magic inundates the entirety of Elysia.
What about beneath Elysia?
I'm not certain how deep her eyes peer into the ditch towns.
I
I
don't
mean-
want to go back underground.
I
Looking
mean,
at Talia.
honestly, me neither, buddy. But you know, if it's the only way, maybe we can recruit some assistance just to sneak our way closer. You know, we don't have to stay under there for long. We could go under when we get near the area of the monolith. I mean, I don't know how any of this works. We might not even find an entrance, but it's something to think about.
Now, Queen Ayla is obviously aware of our presence. Do you imagine that we are... our morale has... I mean, it has. But since we have lost Kiran, do you think that she is expecting us not to continue or pursue his...
I am not certain. Queen Ayla is very old. Her perceptions are affected by that. Not in that they are dulled, but that she is not as connected to folk who live a normal life. She may think us too broken to continue. I'm certain that she doesn't think that we will pose as significant of a threat. But I would not be surprised if soon she peers through the veil to try to find us, to be certain.
And monoliths, you know, there's no like tourist attraction where like we could be, right?
Not... As stories say, before the conflict, they were more open. But once Ilyuvania was gone, she moved quickly to consolidate and protect her power. There was only one monolith then, before the conflict, in Sarathil. To connect her to the broken, well, not the broken then, to connect her to the corpse moon. But once it fell, she reinforced the north to subjugate the wizards. She reinforced the south so that the mountains could be protected.
Well, the mountains seem the right terrain for me. I don't know if I'm going to be helpful sneaking around a city.
Subterfuge and stealth would be a valuable tool here. These are military bases, essentially. Protecting the monoliths. The northern one is the least protected.
I'd imagine that brute force is probably the most difficult way to get this done. We would need all of our strength just to defeat one. So if we are planning on having a coordinated strike, or maybe are there two monoliths that are closer together?
They are equal distant apart, for the most part.
Yeah, the little one that's least protected, I would say we could use brute force, but everything else I would suggest a different approach.
Southern one is the most recluse. Last one she'd expect, I guess. She's likely thinks you all as bombastic and overconfident as Huron in your pronouncements. She probably, if I were to guess, suspects us to go to Novelly first, to lay Chiron's name to rest. And then I think she would suspect you of going to Sarathil. Try to curry the support of the people and take down the most emblematic of spires. The Sarathil spire represents her power there. A place where her power is not usually supposed to be exerted. The sovereign leaders of Elysia are meant to exert their power there.
I mean, I think that the reason why we're taking out these monoliths is to weaken her hold. If we could have an easier target, then that should be our first target. I don't think Sarathil's the best idea if she thinks we're going there. It's better if we take out the ones she's least suspect first, and then once we gather strength, well, once we weaken her, we can worry about recruitment, things like that. People might be more willing to, recruit or help us after hearing that we've been successful in fights against Queen Ayla.
I can take the druids to the north and strike outside of Toralda. As the stories say, are true that it is not as well guarded. I don't trust them, but the wizards are no friends to Ayla. And if we remove her presence in their city, they may, although I don't trust it, offer their aid in taking Sarathil. Or Therismore.
I'm willing to. I would leave that judgment call in your hands, but...
Or the other way, you can go north and I can take the druids south. I just don't think any of us should be going to Sarathil first.
I think that Chiron would want us to get help from anyone that was willing. I mean, we helped the drow who tried to kill us in the Underdark. So, few wizards might be helping hands. The enemy of our enemy is our friend, right? I think that you should try and curry favor, as, a local, sort of a familiar face, and handle that northern tower while we handle one of the others. Does that make sense? I look to Timber.
I think it does, actually. Though, I was wondering if the wizards would trust a foreigner versus a...
That depends. The wizards, they don't hate Elysia. They hate Queen Ayla. I believe she holds them back from their arcane arts. Elysians are skeptical of magic of that sort, given our history. But...
What type of reputation do the druids have?
Druids have a reputation of being hermits who scrounge about in the dirt in the forest. They may have been respected at some point, but not in the last 1,000 years have they been that respected, really. They've just been seen as peculiar odd folk. My order has the greatest respect for them, the Veiled Wardens, because we've worked with them. They've guided us through here, protected us, and we've protected them.
Now, I was an idiot, and I left one of my sending stones into Wiswick's pocket for some reason. And but we need a method of communication to time our strikes on the monolith if we are to split.
Well, we could always just be like, blow up the thing a day from now at
Well,
sunrise.
yes, but a little bit more coordinated than that. Just
I
It
can
doesn't
speak
have to
with
be
the
exactly the same. She can't.
we
closer
need the
the
method
better.
of communication.
Closer
That's
the
all I'm
better.
saying.
Let me speak with the artificer here. I have a spell that might work. I've used it before, but it takes time to get the message somewhere. We could find a way to make it more immediate.
Sarathil might be able to help. I think he has a spell like that.
Scarlet, I also believe, has some sort of enchantment to do so too. But
Flaming piece of blue watermelon goes by.
we can ask her once
She
calms
okay?
just let
No.
her. Just let her.
The last time I tried
Get
to
it
talk
out.
to her and comfort her after Kiran died, she nearly bit my face off.
That sounds
Acting
about
as
right.
if I wasn't grieving myself. I've known him the longest of all of you. He's only my best friend. Grew up together, went fishing together, dreamed of great things.
Now, don't rub it in. I knew the guy for a month, not even.
It's true, not even.
And I suppose anyone he met for longer than a day, well, he inspired them in some way.
He had an impact on
Like,
many. Anyway, have you seen if this place has any sort of reagents or something I can brew up for?
I've been wandering around the greenhouses taking a look. A lot of the stuff is rotted or overcome by fungus. But there's still
Fungus
some
is even
things.
useful.
It's true. There's some things that were protected in whatever they were stored in. I'd say if you scrounged around, you could find some things for sure.
A nice refrigerator,
An ice box.
ooh, food delivery. I'm jealous.
I know. I got food delivery. We should talk about how these, I guess, what we're making here, how they work. Also, do you know how they work? To actually initiate planting the tree?
I whistle over to Mundy, and he puts it in my hand, and I show it I put it in between all three of us.
I don't believe it's worth experimenting with. If
Well,
anything, we just ask how it works.
As all I would say
the manual.
is to whatever Gideon tells you to do.
Yeah, he said bury it underneath the monolith, so I think we just do that.
The only time I've ever met Gideon before this day, or yesterday, I was much younger. A new recruit in the Veiled Wardens. Let's just say he had a lot more of the leaves were on the tree at that time. So, I still trust his wisdom, but be prepared for anything is all I'm saying.
I mean, I hope that, he's trustworthy, seeing as we just risked our lives trying to
I don't doubt
almost get exploded.
I do not doubt his trustworthiness. If there's anyone in this country besides Huron that I would trust, it is Gideon. Man does not tell lies or deceive.
I wish we had the big rock Noldo guy. He definitely is the digger of our group. He could perhaps help us with burying this thing where it needs to go.
Perhaps you could find a way to bring him back from that rock.
Can I take a look? I guess Timber has it.
Yeah.
Sean, I tap it with my finger, and I look real hard into it. Any bells going off?
Give me an Arcana check.
Alrighty. You asked for it. I got an 11.
Gives off quite a nice sound when you tap it. Like it might be good. Like if you get someone to tap a beat on it, you play a harmonica, it'd probably sound really good.
I put my ear to it to see if I could hear anything inside, and I shake it a little, and then I put my ear back to it, and I say, "Hello."
It sounds like the ocean.
Oh. Yeah, I'm stumped.
I don't believe it works like that. We probably cannot use it. Unless it's like some sort of like magic word or, you know, booga booga, and and then explode.
Right.
It's around now that I think Scarlet will tire herself out and just kind of like miss the last melon, and as that momentum, she kind of just falls back onto her back and just is like breathing really hard and just kind of lying there.
Now that looks like a good idea, and I just lay down too, right where I'm standing.
Talia would rush over.
Oh. I'm going to look for the reagents, and
yeah, I guess I have the arcane core now, and I'm just like, I have the arcane core and the explosive magical seed, and I'm just holding one in one hand, one in the other hand, and I'm just like falling asleep on the floor.
How did you get hold of all of these things?
Talia would come over and take out a water skin and sit you up, Scarlet, and have you drink some water.
Thank you.
You have a fever. You're sweating.
Do I?
More than you should for your exertion.
I don't.
Your eyes, bloodshot. Are you okay?
No. Very far from it. But when I missed, something happened, and I ended up in the Feywild for a split second.
Feywild?
Yes.
What did you see?
A giant tree with cracks in it and mushroom creatures and this fog that I breathed in too much of, and I think that's what's causing all of this.
Well, don't have much knowledge of that sort of sickness. Once they're done with their work down there, you should talk to Brigga. Not Brigga, that's the name of the creature she is, Brigganok. You should talk to Baka. She might know what it is and what could cure it.
I think I just need to sleep it off. I'm embarrassed. This is not how I should be representing Kieran.
Fine. If I knew Kieran properly. Though I think he would believe you all do represent him as what's left of him. I don't think he'd want you to beat yourself up over this.
Yes, well, force of habit.
He'd want you to be yourself.
This is me. Just angry, sick, messing it up, getting in the way. I will try again. I'll get it right this time, the next time.
Come. I know you might not like it, but you need to eat something.
I've ever wanted to eat anything less. It was... Oh, that's not how I wanted to phrase that, but...
See, you're so sick you can't even form sentences.
No, fucking fine.
Come, I'll go see if we have any good berries left.
No, I don't. No, I don't want a good berry. I've had several today. They're gross.
All right.
Well, wait, I need to clean off the hammer first. I kind of just like... and like wipe some of the chunks off.
Oh, it's really hard to get off because some of it is caramelized on there.
Of course it
It's
is.
just gonna take you a little while to clean it off.
Shit.
All right,
well.
come, I'll help you with that. Just let's get you some food. You can't recover without it. It's good for the soul.
All right. Thank you.
Tell me, you knew Curon in a time most important in his life. Literally, the most important time of his life. He was so different when he came back. So old, bent. What was your impression of him? What was he like while you knew him?
The wisest man I've ever known. He helped me keep my head on straight. He always knew what to say. He was the light when everything was so dark. And I think he was the first person who truly believed in me.
Bad habit of his. I remember. A bumbling fool.
No. Curon never did that. Well, towards
Think
the
about
beginning,
it.
He wasn't very stealthy.
He had a way with words, and then he had a way of tripping over words.
And tripping.
And tripping. Like a bumbling fool. Wisest man I ever knew. What? I've never seen someone fall into a river so gracelessly. Or get pulled into a pond by a fish on his reel. He fell into a lot of water when we were kids. But he's a strong swimmer. But when I saw him, he looked a lot more like his uncle.
Yes, that was a result of an unfortunate encounter. Very unfortunate encounter.
Well, I may not be your adequate replacement for his words of wisdom, but I promise you I can bumble like an idiot like him, if you need to talk.
Appreciate it, Elio. Not now, but...
I'll go get you some water for that hammer. And he walks away, kind of giving you a smirk as he turns and disappears. And it's about maybe 5-10 minutes later, you hear a splash in the water. All right. Inside, it's time for some timey-wimey bullshit. All right, dead men.
How should I prepare best for this? What's the sensation going to be? Should I focus?
You're going to feel really cold, I think, if what I understand of the spell is right. You know, and you see Gideon's like, yes, cold, the absence of heat. What is life but heat? Fire. Sarathil, I believe we need to keep that fire alive. We'll be burning fast. Yeah. Because you also have to remember we're going to be accelerating in this time slip. Things are going to be moving slow and fast at the same time, all over the place, up, down, left, right, through and through, within, without, everything. It's going to exert so much of our energy, and we're going to be splitting that energy between us in this tethering. What happens to you happens to me, happens to me, happens to you. Understand? What I think, what you think, what you feel, what I feel. How sick I get, how sick you get. We die. We're all gonna feel it.
Understood.
All right. I'm gonna begin the spell. I just need you to keep an eye on me and the magic. If I start to look weaker, I need you to cast some of that magic to keep me alive. You'll know when I'm starting to feel weak, because you're gonna start to feel weak. But hesitate a little at first, because this might be really painful, and it might seem like you should cast it right away, but be judicious. Wait for it to feel extra painful. It's gonna hurt, and then there's gonna be a calm as our bodies adjust, respond quickly, keep us focused. But that's gonna dissipate, or the pain's gonna overcome it. All right, and you see she starts to pull stuff out of her bag, and you see she has this big wheel of platinum cord that she starts to take big chunks of it off. And she's like, here you go, hold on to this. Brings it over. Here you go, Gideon. Takes it, and then she kind of wraps it around her waist, and then brings the other half and brings it back to you, Sarathil, so that it creates a tether. All right, I've never done this, so you see she starts to trace runes in the air with her hands, and whispering, muttering some words under her breath. And you can see the runes start to flutter off of her hands and wrap around the platinum cord. That then, as the runes latch onto it, it incorporealizes into a stream. The cord in your hands literally like melds into your hands. So now that your arms are tethering to one another, it tethers into Gideon's hands. As like one stream comes into one hand and goes out the other hand, all like going into Baka. All right, you are magically linked at this point, and you suddenly feel like from the tether starts to feel this tingly feeling in your fingers, almost like your hands are freezing, like you have really low blood circulation, and it does start to hurt right away as your bodies are adjusting and your souls are linking together. As you can feel kind of just the inching in of the soul is sort of displacing you a little bit, and you feel a little lightheaded as your brain starts to mingle and you start to feel the feelings of Baka, which is pure panic, and Gideon, which is pure curiosity and excitement, with a hint of concern. You can feel the magical energy that was exerted by Baka, and you can feel some of the age of Gideon entering into your body. And you have to kind of fight it for a moment as you feel like almost like your mind loosening, where you try to maintain your sense of self. And she's like, oh, okay. All right, now comes the hard part. As you can see, she kind of holds her hand out and that flame bleeds off of her back. And she snuffs it out in her hands and then pulls it out and the flame grows brighter. You can see the blue light of it fills the room. As you can see on the edges of the walls seem to be spinning, almost blending together, where now it's beyond the spheric shape that is taking up the time slip is all blurry, like there's wind obfuscating everything outside of it. This is when you start to feel a lot of pain, mingled with uncertainty, a little bit of joy as well. And then a little bit of sadness. You start to feel every emotion. You need you to give me a intelligence saving throw.
Before
24? Okay. You steal your mind as you felt yourself becoming unstuck in time for a moment. You started to feel other emotions from other points in your life, other memories seeping in, other layers of your life. And then you focus and you can see straight forward. And you see Baka and Gideon were going through the exact same thing. And they both make it out of it. As Baka then looks down at you, goes, okay, I hate that part. That's the worst it's ever been. Okay. Let's get to work. And you see she starts to rapidly move all about the tree. Checking things, checking the roots, and she looks down to the two of you and says, if you've got any way to clear some of these rocks, move some things around so that we can get into the root systems to cure it, to mend it, please do so now.
Move
Like
rocks.
a PA system for like, you gonna tell us what pizza's today? You know, for school.
Hot lunch today is going to be square pizza, a pretzel stick.
A bread tangle of pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
right,
chicken
what-
nuggets.
What am I saying? I will cast telekinesis and move rocks with my mind.
Hell yeah. Okay. Go ahead and just give me an Arcana check real quick.
Mm-hmm. 26.
Nice. Okay. So you are able to clear up most of the rocks. Any other rocks are being cleared away by Gideon, who seems, you can see he's sort of like localized, concentrating like flows of water to move the rocks and move smaller bunches of debris. As you can now see, kind of the whole space is clearly splayed out. All right, I'm going to give Baka is going to do a saving throw now. She's going to determine if she maintains her power. Okay, so she does. You see she starts to grab all sorts of tools out of her bags. As Gideon kind of also steps forward, you can kind of feel, every time they move, you can almost feel like almost like your soul is being tugged along, even though you're not physically feeling it. Or like you're not feeling a physical sensation, it's a metaphysical sensation.
Right.
But Gideon starts to take a look around at the root structures to see what he can do as well. What would you like to do? It's also at this point you notice above your head and above Gideon's head are little blue flames flickering. You can surmise that these are your souls.
Oh. That's cool. Remind me, Gideon's doing what to him?
So you got the root pillar up here. Gideon is basically like investigating the damaged roots, while Baka is mending and healing certain parts of the roots.
Okay. I guess I would like to just constantly just keep an eye on Baka and make sure that she's doing well.
Okay. Give me a general perception check. Yeah, let's do perception.
Nice. Okay. 18.
Okay. So what I'll say is that you are going to have, with that roll, that's a good roll. So you're going to have, you're going to be able to discern the next time she's about to, if she's going to lose any of her essence, you're going to start to see the signs earlier than you would have normally. Okay. All right. So you would see, I'm going to say with that perception check, you are able to notice that Baka is about to really exert her magic in a moment to do some significant healing to the root force. So what you can do if you want to right now is preemptively.
I like to hold until just after she casts a spell.
Okay. All right. So you see Baka, she's analyzing the top root structures that kind of were right where you had stopped the explosion from going, so they took the most damage. And you see she is starting to cast all sorts of druidic magic over them, as well as sprinkling some of her artificer magic on there. You can see the roots are kind of crawling towards her and healing her. As you can see, you can actually see the flame flickering above her head, which is also your soul simultaneously, starting to flicker as if wind is blowing through it, as you would feel yourself getting colder and colder.
Okay.
So what I'm going to say is you can do an Arcana check for your regeneration, or regenerate with advantage because of you noticed it early enough.
Yep. Ooh. The higher one was 17.
Oh.
But I'm going to knowledge from the past.
Okay.
And roll a d6 to add to that. Crap. Not that. No! 1 makes it an 18.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Okay. So what I'll say is it's kind of like I guess the best way I'll put it is it's a partial success. It's not a failure. You're able to channel magical life energy into the tether. As you can see, like she does this sort of like manipulation of time where like the roots start to like regrow in certain areas, reforming the helix around the rift. But there's a point when one of the roots kind of lashes out and reacts to the surge of magic all around, and it's like the time fucks up around it, and it grows far too large. And you see Baka, that drains a lot of the magic from Baka, and you feel a significant drain of your own essence, but you do keep her alive. And you watch as the flame starts to stabilize. She just looks down and is like, "Oh,
Are you okay?
oh, that was so."
I felt it. I felt it as well.
I am an old lady, I think. I cannot do what I used to be able to. Thank you. All right. Other than this fucked up branch, the core has been stabilized. We just need to repair the consoles down below. Gideon, if you could come up here and tame this branch, it's not safe to have such an overgrowth. Sarathil, on me, down here. All right. And she looks down and she shows you the nexus that Scarlet was striking. You can see that it is, it's split in two. The energy that was exerted into it cracked it right in half.
Yep.
All right. This is going to take a lot of time. This is probably the thing that's going to take the most time. I just need you to be ready to fuel some magic into me with that regeneration stuff you're doing. Because this is going to take a lot. So go ahead and give me another Arcana check.
$23.
Okay, good. All right, I'm going to say because she's rolled well, she's going to get advantage on her check. Okay. 23. While you're doing this, I am going to need you to give me another intelligence saving throw.
$18.
18. Okay. So you once again start to feel yourself slipping away in time.
Mm-hmm.
As you start to, for a moment, you close your eyes and you open them. And you are transported. You look around and you don't see Baka. You don't see Gideon. But you start to hear people. Sounds of a marketplace, maybe? As you find yourself, for a moment at least, on the streets of, I don't remember the name of the city that I gave you, but basically you find yourself in
Gwenpool.
Gwenflair, in the Gwen Empire, in the streets of the university that you originally did your research in. You just see people, and you can hear people all walking around you. You are back. This is not a dream. This is not a memory. You are literally feel yourself kind of coming unstuck in a moment where you were already in. Like a dream in the sense that you're in the middle of what's happening. And it is just a fateful day. You suddenly feel like, I need to get to...
Yeah, wait. That's weird daydreaming I just did there. I must get to class.
Exactly.
as I'll start running through the streets. It's like, oh, what time is it? I'm late. I'm late.
You look up and you see the famous clock tower up in the sky, where you could just see a bell rings off, and you are late to class officially as of this bell. And you know that the professor is not kind to those who are late to magic class. Okay. So you start darting through the streets. And you find yourself at the gates of the university. When you feel yourself almost pause and stop. The air has a taste that comes to your mouth and a smell. It smells like, must be cinnamon. Roll me a D100.
$49.
I remembered. I found the name of the city.
What was it?
Horstra Anima.
Yeah.
Garden of the Mind. It's the name of the city.
Say it again.
Horstra Anima. It's actually Vermalcia from 1,000 years ago. Sorry, you said 49?
Yes.
Okay. So, as you start to taste this cinnamon in your mouth, the sky blackens, and you look to the north, and you can see you feel it, a shockwave that rushes through the city. And then you see this pillar of ash and smoke just billowing miles into the sky to the northeast. Such a vast eruption that it is only the things that you would have seen written about in books about volcanic activity. But it's 10 times as big, as there's an electricity in the air as that shockwave pulses through, and you can see it something burning in the sky. And then just goes and rockets through the clock tower as it just, as you start to hear screaming of people all around you as you're reliving the day that the Lay Sanctum exploded in Ultimastra. Before almost like dust was kicking towards you from the clock tower, and then suddenly you're back in the chamber with Baka and Gideon. And you can see Baka and Gideon. Gideon is rushing up to Baka, who is now kind of looking like withering in this moment.
I'll step back to it. I need to find Hypatia. As I'll see what's around me again and be like, oh, what? No. Right. I'll rush up to Baka. Sit in me. And I'll focus on trying to regenerating her again.
Okay. Roll me another D100.
$17.
17, okay. Just for a ridiculous moment, as you come up to cast Regenerate, you feel a tickle under your nose as your face just a bunch of feathers grow out of your face. As you see Baka's just like, oh, what the what? He's fucking kid. You lost it a bit. All right. And then you can still get the Regenerate spell off. In time as that flame is flickering down to a cinder, and then Burns
You're
red.
okay. You okay, I think?
And then you sneeze, and all the feathers just pop off your face. A relatively harmless surge of magic. All right. Before you went catatonic, I was able to do most of the work. We just need one more push. Can you do that, Sarathil? You're still good? Can you keep yourself here?
Yes. Yes, I won't slip again.
Okay. All right, here we go. All right, one last roll. Arcana.
Oh, Arcana check.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. Not Arcana.
Good.
I meant that the intelligence saving throw.
It's even throw. Yeah. 18. Come on. What are these rolls?
All right, Sarathil. You're focusing all that regeneration magic. You're watching Baka, and you can see she's just grabbing tools out of her bag, and you can see she's like telling Gideon to like lift, and he's like lifting the pieces of the Nexus together so that they can repair it. As you then suddenly,
I'm just mumbling to myself. Where I lost where I am.
Suddenly your mind your mouth is dry as you see desert winds just whipping across a salt flat in your face. Your companions all behind you, marching through the fields of glass, trying to find your last hope. Sky is still black with the raging magic that is spilling like hot lava into your world. Black rain falling. What once would have been a shimmering reflection of the sky across these salt flats is just a ichory pool that you're sledging through.
Come on. You must trot on. I know it's here somewhere.
You see one of your companions collapses into the black sludge.
Scipio, you alright?
My lungs burn like hot ash.
Seneca, attend to him.
Zal, your Seneca rushes up to tend to him as you look and see kind of like in the distance through the whipping black rain and dust kicked up from the mountainsides. You can see at least the shapes of the temple you seek. You can't tell if it's your mind playing tricks on you with your exhaustion or if you found it.
I gone mad from this ilk? Or is that it? My God, is that it?
And you feel yourself start to cough. You look down to your blood on your cloak where you coughed into your arm. You feel lightheaded, and then you look down at your arm in the chamber with Baka, and you think for a moment, you kind of touch it to see if there's blood on it, and it's dry. You feel incredibly weak, though. Your hands start to shake.
I don't think I'm going to make this trip.
My boy, quickly, what are you doing? What are you doing? And you see Gideon come rushing up and cups your face. Are you okay? You're okay. You're with us. Stay with us. Stay with us. As you feel your legs weak, you collapse to the ground. You look over and you can see Baka is also on the ground. It's okay, dead guy. Ooh, Gideon, I don't feel so good. I don't feel so good. Sarathil, give me a death saving throw.
With advantage.
With advantage. Baka will do one as well.
How do I do that with?
It's just a d20. Yeah.
Oh, right.
So I could just roll a normal d20 twice.
Oh dear. Okay. Oh, natural 20.
Thank God. Because Baka rolled a 4 and Gideon rolled a 2. So, since a natural 20 gets you back up to 1 in a normal death situation, Sarathil, I'd like you to describe for me how you pull this back together. Because this is going to, that 20 here is going to succeed this, it's going to finish out this skill challenge with a success. But the other two people are collapsing and also in this state. And you are mustering all the energy you have left to not only keep yourself alive, but to keep them alive to finish the work.
Going back to those two moments in time for Sarathil, which were very hard, and seeing the amount of death and thinking about all those people in his past that are now gone and only he remains, and thinking for a second about even on this journey with Wiswick falling and Curon falling, he's in their remembrance put everything in his power back together, and with like a divine like surge, like his eyes will widen open and he'll just stand up on his feet and unleash like all his energy and strength back into like essentially, like, I know I'm gonna save it because I got his death saving throw, but thinking in his mind at the time, like he'll pour all he can out into like harnessing the flame of Baka and Gideon, even at his own expense, where he's just like pumping it out and giving like essentially like whatever version of this like life transference is, giving everything he can to them, because he has that spell and he uses it often, and surging that energy from everything that he had back into them, and then collapsing himself as Baka can regain strength to finish what she needs to do.
Absolutely. What you would seek is you would feel that desperation inside you, the same desperation that has defined your life. Desperation to find those you love in the wreckage of the Empire's destruction. Desperation to find any way to preserve the future and find Ilyavanya. Desperation to find a way when Curon died. All boils within you to a point when basically in your mind you say it's not going to end this way. And you stand and step forward, stumbling as you pour your own necrotic magic into the Tether Essence spell, which drains more from you, more than your breath, more than the mechanical spirit within you. No, drains your soul into these new companions. As you can see them start to lift themselves, feeling reinvigorated, the flames above their heads burn bright as yours fizzles down to a very tiny, tiny flame. as Baka finishes the work. You all along sitting there, staring up. Entirely in this moment of time. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Oh no! Keep going! What happens next? Oh, wait a week.
Can't put it into this coming.
All right, folks. Thank you for hanging out with us in Paradise for a very fun episode, and I'm just a fan of this area, his facility. There's just fun stuff happening, cool, interesting stuff happening here.
Funny magic and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. Join us next week to see what happens to Sarathil, as well as the return of Stefan, because he will not be on vacation anymore. He'll be back from Peru, so we might even get to see a little Curon again. Who knows? Who the hell knows? Or we're just going to go blow up some monoliths. We'll see. But thanks for joining us tonight, folks. Please join us for more programming throughout the week. I will be doing a Relaxing in Paradise again this Thursday, because I do need to build those damn monoliths for that eventual encounter. And there will not
Really,
be
just one monolith.
True, it's really just one that I can then use. I mean, you guys are probably not going to, I imagine you're not going to fight at all three of them, but one monolith to represent any monoliths that I'll ever use again. Yeah. And then, of course, Sunday is the Sean Enchanted Power Hour. We will be back this week.
Will we?
We're
going to pack.
Oh, God, that's right. We're going to be in a different... Okay, maybe it won't be here.
My flight's at 9:15, so that's not happening.
Yeah, no, never mind. Yeah. So no recap for you fine folks out there.
We'll have the Mike and Clayton Power Minute.
Yeah.
Where it's just him and I for 60 seconds. But do you remember what happened? I think Sarathil died.
Not a clue.
I want you. You should give
The Power Minute.
the Mike and Clayton Power Minute.
Powerful minute on the internet.
Most powerful minute on the internet. You can give an honest trailer for Advantage in Paradise.
Ooh, that's actually not bad.
Oh,
be like, I don't know what happened. Yeah. All right, folks. Let's see. We are going to raid somebody. But yes, actually, that is just a good thing to mention. In general, me and Shannon will be in PAX East, so if you're going to be there, feel free to come say hi. There won't be a Scales Above over on Roll for Damage tonight, because we will be...
Not tonight.
I'm sorry,
Friday.
it's Friday night, because we will be in PAX. But it'll all come back together for Advantage in Paradise next Monday to see what happens. Alrighty, folks. We are gonna send a raid on over to who's on right now. Let's do bet. What is it?
Misrolled Adventures.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen them on in a while. Okay, I typed it wrong. What did I type wrong?
I believe in you.
My God.
Wow, nope, I wrote Adventures. Nope, and I just typed their name into chat. Everybody, I am real good at Twitch.
You're so good at it.
I'm real good at Twitch. All right,
I'm really good at twitching.
I'm really good at twitching. All right, God, my God. All right, bye.
Bye.